I was aware of some of it beforehand. And even after, it wasn't like nowadays people have a reference for what it is. Like you can look online. I had never even heard of a near-death experience. And back then, I really wouldn't tell anyone, or pretty much anyone, what I experienced. But so I had some things. The one thing I know that happened, and sometimes I wonder if I see other beings around and I don't even notice it because sometimes they look so real, so physical. But I saw my grandfather in a movie a couple of years before my near-death experience, and I know he had passed away. I know he was, I knew he wasn't alive physically. So, and he was a unique-looking person. I had other things where my intuition was, I just have a sense of knowing things about people, but I often say I was just kind of naive about it because when I was very young, I sort of assumed everyone was like that. As I got older, I didn't even think of it, and sometimes I know things more than the person themselves. Like I can see, people are in touch with different parts of their consciousness, and sometimes they're not in touch with their unconscious or their subconscious. So it was a slow discovery. I just started discovering more things that I was doing. One, I noticed my hands became warm when I would touch people. And anytime I tried to help someone feel better physically, it happened very quickly. One time I told, actually, my next door neighbor I was friends with, his grandfather was very sick. And I told this guy's father, I said, I'll pray for him. And I did, and I felt something happen. And I felt something happen. And then when I saw the father after that, a little while later, he said, I think something happened when you prayed, because that day there was such a change in his health. And, we really knew that. And there, it was, I tell the same stories all the time, but my reference for those kind of things were in science fiction. So nowadays you look, even this, people might tune into your thing and they would have a reference for what to do with what happened to them. I really had no reference. A few years later, I met this person who was a Sufi sheikh, and he started talking about what happens after we die, and I became very interested in that. So I read the Tibetan Book of the Dead and, more traditional religious books about dying and stuff like that.